Hello everyone. Welcome to this three-part tutorial series where we'll see how we can attach a static object to a moving object. And in the second part, we'll see how we can create thrusters and the smoke effect, this invisible dust kind of effect. And in the third part, we'll see how we can render out all of this together. So my intent to make this tutorial was simple. I just wanted to show because I see like a lot of people have this problem of attaching a simple geometry to a moving geometry, and I feel that shouldn't be the case. The thing with Houdini is like if you do this in any other software, like linking is straightforward. You just link, you just use a parent constraint, but that only works in case of FPX. And doing that in Houdini, it's also very simple. You just link an object and you can use different deform methods and all. If you only have the bones, if you only have the skeleton, or you can say the translation and the rotation data, but let's say if you have an Alembic object, in that case, things they change a bit. The linking of some object to like animated Alembic object, it's a bit different. So we'll have to compute the transform and the midpoint and the orientation, and then we'll have to attach it. So we'll see how we can do that. So that was my main intent, but then I got carried away and I just gave this Crag a jetpack because why not? And that's just how all of my things they get delayed. Anyways, back to Houdini and let's see. So in this first part, we're gonna see how we can just link a jetpack to the Crag. In the second part, we'll do the dust simulation, and in the third part, we'll just render it out. Okay. So I'm just gonna add a Crag over here. Okay, and let's uncheck this include hammer. I don't want him to become Thor. And let's null this out. And now we're gonna bring the object which we're gonna use it as the jetpack. So I'm just gonna use a file node. I'm gonna attach this jetpack geometry in the description. You can just download this. And by default, as usual, like FX will come as a mountain. So let's just use a transform and scale it back. Maybe I'll use something like 0.01 and just click on move to centroid. So it's centered to the origin. And what I'm going to do is I'll just roughly place this shoe on the back of the crack. So maybe something like this. Okay, maybe it's too small. Let's use 0.015. Got you? All right. Now I'm just going to null this out. So how do we, like the first part, how do we attach a static geometry to a moving geometry? Okay. Now you can think of this process, you can divide this process into three parts. The first part is scattering points on the geometry. Now, why do we exactly scatter points on the geometry? Well, there's a reason for that. So let me show you this thing with an example. And I just wasted 1 week in making this, in making an app to like showcase this thing. So yeah. So basically, like, you can see like we have this 3D object which is moving up and down. Okay. It's having the movement just like our crack. And if I want to attach some object, I'll have to compute a midpoint for that. Okay. So let's say if I just scatter some points. Okay. So if I just scatter some points on the geometry, you can see like it's able to compute the average position and the orientation. So like let's say if I have to attach some object onto the midpoint of this teapot, well, it's fine. I can do that. But what if I want to attach something on the handle? So in that case, I'll have to draw points over on the handle itself, and then I'll have to compute the midpoint of that. Same way, if I have to attach something on the funnel, well, in that case, I'll have to do like I have to scatter the points on the funnel itself, and let's say if I have to attach something on the lid, so in that case, I'll have to scatter points on the lid itself. Okay, so that is how this whole thing works. Okay. So the first part, as I told you, scattering points on the geo. Like you might have a geometry which can have lots of motion, but let's say if you want to attach something on the hand or the leg or the head, so you'll have to compute the midpoint only of that localized area. Then the second thing is the computing the average position and the orientation. And then the third point is attaching or linking the objects. That's it. So you can divide this whole process into 3 parts. All right, so let's see how we can do that here. So I've seen like a lot of people, what they'll do is, they think if we just use a copy to points, and you know like if I just take one point from here, and also you'll have to make sure you convert this object into a normal geometry by using this convert node, so you have access to the polygons and stuff. Okay, so let's say if I just use uh, some point here, like let's say if I have to attach it on the back of his shoulder, if I do this and if I do a delete non-selected, okay, and if I just place his shoe here, okay, let me do one thing. Let me just make a copy of this transform. Okay. So you can see this is what we get, and obviously like the rotation and everything, it's all messed up. So what we'll have to do, we might have to like just rotate it and just realign this, and it will take like around 1 million years at least. Okay, and let's say if you successfully do this, now the problem that we're gonna face, okay, so it might look like it's working, so it might look like it's working, okay, like the object is attached, but then as soon as the object starts to rotate, when your main geometry starts to rotate and does its deformation, that is where the issue comes, because it is having the position data. So this copy to points, it takes the position data. So let's say if this geometry was going in a straight path, this would work, but because this geometry is also having the deformations and all, it's not really going to work. Okay, so in this case, you'll also have to get the rotation and all that stuff. Okay, and the way we do that is by using extract transform node. So a lot of people, they don't know about this thing. However, we have one more node which is known as extract. Sorry. So we have this extract centroid node. Okay, and what it does, it basically finds midpoint of your geometry. That's it, and it just moves that point with your geometry. Okay, so it just calculates the midpoint of your geo, and you can see like it does not really has anything. I mean, if I click on this, the main geometry, these were all the positional data and the normals and everything. And if I click on the extract centroid, you can see, it computes new midpoints, and we only have like around 65 midpoints. Like originally we were having, I mean, so many points, like almost 90,000 points. Okay, so now you know what extract centroid does. So if you want to attach something on the middle of an object, you can do that. Okay, now what about extract transform? So that is what we're going to use. So extract transform. Okay, and if I just, so it has two inputs: reference geometry, that means the geometry that needs to be referenced, and it should be a static frame of your original geo. Okay, and then the second input is the target geometry. Okay, so now you will see we just have a single point here, and it just moves with the geo. So basically what it's doing, it's computing all the points, it's averaging them out, and after averaging them out, it's just giving you 1 point. And now the cool part is, if I just use a copy to point here, I can use this geometry to like copy on this thing. Okay, and let me just use a merge with the Crag here. So if you have a look, this is what we get. So now we have the JetPack which is attached to the geometry, and you might feel okay, yeah, this is working, but you will see, you know, we'll start to have some sliding issues. Let me just make a preview. Now, why exactly are we having this sliding issue? Okay, so let's talk about that. So let's see first of all what happens here. So you can see like it might look right, but it's not really right. See, we are having this swinging which is going on here because the geometry is not really properly attached to the crack. And it's not like it's not attached, it is attached, but the problem is it's not attached to the back of his shoulder. Okay, so once again, if we talk about the if we just go back to our animation that we did here, so what happens generally is like we just like what extract transform, what it's doing is it's just like having, like it's just using all the points of the geometry as an input, and then it's just finding a midpoint, because like it's just using all the points. So the midpoint of all the points will be in the center. Okay, and that will be for the whole geo. But in this case, we want to attach something on the back of the crack. We want to attach something on his shoulder, right? And the shoulder might have different movements, sorry. So let's say if this is the shoulder, or if this is the part where you want to attach something, we just select those points. And now if we do the if we play this, you can see the midpoint is now the new localized point of that geometry. Same thing if I just do it from here. See, again, if I want to attach something on the lid, then this. So whenever you want to like attach something on a certain specific area, we'll have to do a little different method here. Okay, so let's have a look. So I'm just gonna remove all of this stuff. Okay, and the thing is, we only want to like compute for his back of the shoulder. Okay, and how do we do that? Well, there are like different ways. So the easiest one here is like we can just use this 3D connected geometry, and I can just select these two portions because they'll be like I mean they resemble the closest motion for the jetpack. And if I just do a delete, and if I do a delete non-select, you'll see we're left with these uh, you know these areas which are where we need to attach the jetpack. Okay, now what you can do is you can just simply scatter the points over the geometry. However, this is not really the right way, because we are scattering points on the moving geometry, which is not really a good thing, especially like if your object is deforming or something. It might create some issues, and the like if any of the point changes its position, then whole data gets ruined. So instead of that, we can use a point deform. Now, what exactly is point deform? Let me show you. So basically, what point deform does, it moves your new geometry on the basis of you know your original geometry. So what I mean by that is, so you can see the first input, it says mesh to deform. So basically I want to deform this mesh, and because I want to deform this mesh, obviously it needs to be static. So what I want here is I want to like move these points with respect to the original geometry. Okay, so we have these points, and then in the second input, the rest point lattice. That means the rest points from the original geometry, which is this, and the rest point means just one frame. And then the third deformed point, that is the original geometry itself. Okay, not the rest frame, the original geometry. Now if I click on this point form, you can see this is what we get. So now the points are not being scattered on each and every frame. Instead, they're scattered on the first frame, looking at the static geometry, and then they are deformed by looking at the original geometry. Okay, so it's more like it's referencing the original geometry instead of just scattering points on each and every frame, which also saves the time and any errors as well. Okay. Now, again, the reason why we scattered points only on the back, because we want to attach a jetpack, right? Fine. So this is what we have. Okay. Now, what we need to do is we'll just simply use the extract transform. Okay. And once again, let's just get a time shift here, because it expects the reference geometry on the first input, and on the second input, the target geometry. And now if I click on this, you'll see it will find. So what it's going to do, it's going to find a midpoint from these objects. Initially, like when we didn't do this, it was finding a midpoint based on all of this crack. But now this is what it does. Okay. So now if I use a copy 2 points, okay. So geometry to copy, and let's copy over here. So if you have a look, this is what we get. Okay. And now if I just merge this thing with our original crack, and I'm just going to make a preview, and let's see how it looks. So if you have a look now, you can see the object is like perfectly static, and like static in this sense, it's not really sliding or anything. It's perfectly attached to the object. Okay, and obviously you can just like, let's say if you find it's not really in the center, you can just move it. Now the reason why it's perfectly attached and it's not sliding and all, it's because we're using the right object to link it to. Okay, we are not using the whole geometry or anything. We're just using the points where it should be attached. So it's same like, if you wear a necklace or if you wear something on your wrist, even though they are moving with your body, but they will have completely different motion, because when you wear something on the neck, it remains kind of static with the center of the geometry. But when you wear something on your hands, the center of geometry is something else, but then your hand also has a movement, right? So you cannot wear something on your neck and reference it to your hand, because the hand will have completely different kind of motion. The same thing happens here. We just calculate the midpoint of the object which is supposed to be like looking at the actual geometry, like we just link it to the object which has the closest motion where we want the jetpack to get attached to in this case. Okay, so I think, yeah, that is it for this part. In the next part, we'll see how we can create the thruster effect and the invisible smoke dust kind of thing, and then in the third part we'll see how we can render this out. Okay, so yeah, anyways, so if you really like the way we teach, you can go to the given link, demo.indiangraphicschool.com. You can avail the 20 days free demo classes, and if you complete the first demo in the given time, you'll get a discount on the main course. Also, if you are interested in our upcoming course, the Hoodney Hollywood, where we go and create shots from different movies, you can check that out as well. It's coming in few months, and yeah, that is it. Let's meet in the next part.